Please listen to the story of this young lady from Cameroon living in Kuwait. Your advice is highly needed here. Please listen to her story now. I was dating this guy whose mother was my former teacher. His mother was not happy we were dating. Sometimes when I am walking on the street and meet the mother will be warning me saying, "Have I not warned you to leave my son alone?" But I was so much in love with this guy that I don't want to break up with him. My own parents were not in support because of the behavior of the guy's mother, but we still conquer everything and moved on. At a point, he entered university while I was still in secondary school. Along the line, I met another guy. To be frank, I slept with this guy once and I got pregnant for him. It happened, but I didn't tell the guy who got me pregnant. When my first guy came back from the university, I told him that he was responsible for the pregnancy. I didn't leak this secret to anyone. I kept it to myself. I gave birth to a baby boy and the guy named him after himself, not knowing that he was not the father of the baby. We were still together until I got pregnant for the second time. My friend in the university was responsible for this one. We gave birth to a baby girl. While I was pregnant with my baby girl, I went to visit him in school. When I came back home, I never knew that he also came back to tell his mother that he was not responsible for the second pregnancy that I am carrying. So his mother called my mother to tell my mother what the son said. My mother came home and told me what the boy said, that he was not responsible for the pregnancy. At that time, the first child was 2 years old. Because of that, I went through too much problems carrying the pregnancy. My mother would always look at me and ask me, how can I give birth to a rejected child? How can I give birth to a rejected child by the father? How can I take care of the baby, especially now that she was sick? I told my sick mother not to worry. I was helping my mother with her little business. My mother managed to buy all my baby things. My father got angry and reported the matter to the welfare. There, the boy denied the baby. He said that he was not responsible for the pregnancy. So we went for blood tests, which showed that he was the father of the baby. He refused, saying that the result was fake. Him and his mother insisted that the medical personnel has taken side with me. When I finally delivered, it happened that the nurse that delivered me the baby was his mother's friend. When the nurse saw the baby, he called the mother to come and see the baby they rejected, looking exactly like her son. When I went back home, my mother's sickness was still persisting. We were going to the hospital and coming back. My auntie and I and every other person around tried for my mother, but too much of thinking of how I can raise the baby all by myself and the baby being rejected by the father and other pressures made my mother to pass away. My mother passed away and this boy did not attend my mother's funeral. It was only his mother that came. Few months later, I sat in the house and his friend came to tell me that the boy wants to see me. I went to where he was. He said to me that he was sorry for all what he did to me. I love this boy. I love this boy. Though I was not faithful, but I love this boy. I cherish him so much until my father was calling him my remote control. I love this boy with everything that I had with me. Even when he was saying that he was not responsible for the pregnancy, I didn't hate him for that. I have never prayed evil prayer for him. I never said anything bad to him, despite the pains that he caused me. People were telling me to curse him, that I should do evil to him. I never did any of that until this baby was 2 years old. While the baby was growing up to 2 years old, I could count how many times they came to give money for the upkeep of the baby. I never asked them for money. It was the mother that will come maybe after 3 to 6 months to give 5,000 francs in Cameroon money. Sometimes she will bring 6 hand plantains that we should eat. I never got angry with them for any reason. I just handed everything over to God. A time came when the boy's mother came to take the children for weekend. The children went for weekend, but the woman refused to send them back. My parents were asking why. She came to take the children. I said no, it was just for weekend. Weekend that has lasted for 6 months until the children started living with her. In this, I never said anything. If I have anything to give to the children, I will go to their house and give it to them. I was okay with the guy until he went to another town and started working there. There he got a lady he said he wants to get married to. One day my son called me and told me our daddy has found someone that he wants to get married to. I said okay, no problem. I went one time to the house to visit the children. There I saw the lady. She was giving me attitude. I just did what I wanted to do with the children, then I left. I had a dream. In that dream, the lady was holding a knife and wanted to pierce my children. Then I woke up from the dream and I prayed. I went to my friend and I told her the dream, and I also went to the boy. I told him that this lady you want to get married to will not love our kids. He said that I should not worry, that my problem is jealousy. He said that he also prayed that I should find someone to marry to. I was doing my little business. At a point, I was short of cash. It happened that this boy has traveled to Dubai. I called him and I pleaded with him to assist me to pay my rent, but he said that he doesn't have money, that all the money with him, he wanted to give them to his fiancée for the mother's funeral. I said okay. It happened that few months later, I traveled to Kuwait. I was in Kuwait as a house help. The mother will call me that I should send money money for the children. If I have money, I will send to them. If I have not yet been paid, I will tell her to give me some time, that I will send her some money as soon as I am paid. So this boy and I were okay, still talking. It happened that he called me one day and said that the lady he wanted to marry was confirmed to be a witch by his pastor, that he should not get married to the lady again. He came back to me and started apologizing, saying please that he wants us to get married. I told my parents. My father said, it is you that is wearing the shoe and you know how it is paining you. This is a proverb, meaning that the decision is mine. He said if I choose to get married to the boy, that he will not stop me. I told my dad that I want to get married to him, that because of my kids, I will get married to him. The boy told me that before the marriage, that I must go for deliverance in his church. I told him, why deliverance in your church? He insisted. I said, okay. When I traveled back home to Cameroon, I went to the church and I sowed a free will seed. Later, the boy's mother came back to tell me that the pastor said that I should pay the seed of 120,000 for my deliverance. Then I called the boy and told him that I don't have such money for deliverance. Asked him to give me the money so that I will give the pastor. He stopped picking my calls and stopped talking to me. When he came back, if I visit their home, he will be talking to everybody, but he will not talk to me because I asked him to give me money for the deliverance. This is how we ended. He called me and told me, since I don't want to go for the deliverance, that he wants me to move on, that he has moved on with his life. I pleaded with this boy, but no way. It came to a point that one day I gave my life to Jesus Christ. I called him that I have something to tell him, that I want to apologize to him that he was not the father of the boy. I told him who the father of the boy was. He said I should call the father and tell him. I called the father of the boy and I told him. He asked why did I not ever tell him. He got angry. He said that he has married and it will be very difficult now to start telling his wife all this. I told him that it is not for the point for him to do anything for the boy. I just wanted him to know. That was all. So this brought a very big breakup between me and the boy, the father of my baby girl, the one I love. He called me and he asked me to move on with my life because he has moved on with his own life. I pleaded with him, but no way. Just of recent, when I traveled back, his elder brother in Canada called me. He asked me, how am I seeing my kids? I said, these kids are not okay. I have stopped sending money to the boy's mother because I have received so many calls that she is not taking care of the children. My son will always tell my auntie that the money their father is sending to them, their grandmother is using them to go to church, that their grandmother is not cooking food in the house, that they only drink garri day and night. Their grandmother will always come back from school and go back to church. She spends more time in the church than taking care of the kids. The children are becoming so tiny until I got angry and I said that I would not send that money again. I told my father that my rentage money that they are collecting, he should stop sending the money to her again. Please, I want advice. Should I keep on waiting for this boy or should I move on with my life? See, I can't count how many people I have refused to date. I can't count how many people I have refused to marry, telling them that I am still waiting for this boy to make up his mind. Please, I need advice because even right now, the boy is not talking to me. I need to know what to do. When the mother calls me for money and I tell her I don't have money, she will say, you don't have money, no problem. I will tell your children that you are an irresponsible mother, that you are not capable of taking care of them. She doesn't even allow the children to go to my family. If the children visit my auntie, she will beat them up and warn them never to go there again. My baby girl will be 11 years by April, while my baby boy will be 13 years old by September. They have been living with their grandmother all these years. I want my kids to come back and stay with me if I go home again, but at this stage, I need advice on what to do, on how to go about all these things. Please, I need advice. Please be polite and advise her on what to do, and share this video now for others to advise her too. And see you next Friday. This is House of the Sons Global.